Did you know that businesses that set goals are 10 times more likely to feel motivated and inspired? That's right. Having a clear direction and purpose can skyrocket your business success and even your sanity. Welcome to Dollars and Dreams, the podcast designed to empower you to take control of your personal and business finance. You know, the very thought of money and finance can often send chills down your spine and stir up fear of the unknown. But let's change that narrative together. Through this podcast, my goal is to not only to provide you with useful information, but also to inspire and motivate you to take action towards your own financial goals. Let's rewrite your money story together. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dollars and Dreams. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important things as business owners that you can do, and that is goal setting. Now, when I talk to my business owners about goal setting, a lot of them will say to me, "But Jen, isn't that just for personal stuff?" And of course, a business plan, and we went through business plans a couple of podcasts ago, is part of your goal setting. So you come up with where you want to see your business, and then you set actionable goals to achieve the success that you want with your business. And so when we look at our business plan, you automatically put your goals in place. But I think from a business point of view, you are far better off to do it as a separate part after you've done your business plan. So there's a reason that we've done these podcasts in order. You know, we've done our marketing plan, we've done our business plan, and now we're here at goal setting. And it's a fact that businesses that set goals are 376% more likely to report success than those businesses without a goal. Let me just tell you that number again, 376% more likely. So that's nearly 4 times. And it's a real game changer for your business. And the reason that it is a game changer is that when you set goals, you set very clear visions and measurable targets for your business. And it will increase the chances of achieving those targets. It will increase your chances of staying focused on the end game, and it increases the chances that you stay motivated because you can see that you're stepping off and meeting those small little targets along the way that we need to do. And of course, when we look at, the great big business plan and we go, this is what we want it to be, whether it's instead of working 5 days a week, you want your business to only give you 4 days a week with no impact on your income. It could be that you want to increase your sales. It could be that you want to open up a new branch. Doesn't matter what the end goal is. The idea of setting goals is to break those goals down into really small steps that you can do as business owners. The idea of goal setting is to take the overwhelm and the stress out of business. And that's one of the things that we see with a lot of small business owners is that sometimes it just gets too hard. It gets too much. It's all consuming. They don't switch off. You're waking up 2:00 in the morning trying to work out what you need to do. You worry about why things aren't getting anywhere and the needle in the business isn't moving. So that's what goal setting will do. It will give you that clear vision and the measurable targets that will increase the chances of you succeeding. And of course, that's all we want to do in our small businesses, isn't it? We want to succeed in whatever it is that we set. Now, I always say to all of my individuals when I'm dealing with them, stop comparing where you are to where someone else is. And I say that to the business owners that I work with as well. Stop comparing where your business is to that business that's been in place for 10, 15 years. They're further down the path than you are. There is a process that you need to get there, but don't compare what they have. And it's a bit like, I guess, saying to somebody, if we're investing in the share market, you're comparing yourself to Warren Buffett. You're not Warren Buffett. You may be one day, but you're not right now. And so you as a business owner can take what other people have that are further down that track than you are and create a path to get there. Create a way to grow your business to be there. But don't compare where you are and what you're struggling with to what they have. They are very different to you. Compare you to you. The best thing you can do to make your business successful is drill into your own business. What do your KPIs look like? What do you need to change? What do you need to stop doing? We've all got things in our business that don't actually move the needle and make us grow or become more successful, whatever your term of success is. And we all have a different concept of success in our business. But you need to stop looking at other people, drill into your own business. How do you get from here to there? So goals, as I said, just are not for individuals. They are for everybody, business or personal. And so the idea behind goals is it will set up milestones for you. And that's really important, because if you want to get from point A to point B in the next 12 months, you've got to map a path for that. And I always say goals, like your business plan, is your Google Maps, and it's the flight path for where you want to get to, so that you know the steps that you need to take. So, for example, you want to open up another branch. You need to know what your market looks like there, what your competitors are, what things you need to put in place to get there. If you just create, I want to open another branch, more than likely you'll open it up without being ready, without having everything in place. Or if your goal is to cut your working week to 4 days a week, which we'd all love that, you need to put something in place so that you can't just swap a 5-day week for a 4-day week with longer hours. That's genuinely not what people want when they want a 4-day working week. You know, there's lots of industries I see now that they're working a 4-day week, but they're working 4 10-hour days. So by the time they get to having that day off, it's actually not a day off. They've just moved their working week around. If you truly want a 4-day working week, you should be aiming to have a 4-day working week of the same working days as what you have now. Put things in place. Start to work out how you get some efficiencies, how you can start to educate your customer base that you're not open on X amount of days. It may be that you have a 4-day working week and you have Friday off, and whoever your next in line is might have a Monday off, so that your business is still open 5 days a week. So they're the things that goal setting will do. You might say, I need to pass off X amount of work to somebody else to do to be able to give myself that day off. So goals will give you the actionable steps to achieve what you want to achieve. And as I said, goals need to give you the direction, but it also needs to be purposeful. And one of the things that we see with people when they create goals is that they just create goals, but it doesn't actually move to the target. Remember what I always said, and what I said in my business planning podcast, is that when you do your big picture of where you want your business to be, you need to be able to break those down into actionable steps to get you there. It is no point setting goals that aren't working towards that big target that you have for your business or your lifestyle. So the one thing that we always talk about is that the goals are the roadmap to achieving it. So what you should be able to do is get your big picture goal that you have, or the big plan for your business, and break it down. If your goal is you want to be somewhere in 12 months' time, you should come back to the 6 months, the 3 months, the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. Now, when I say to people that your goal should be broken down into daily tasks, quite often they will look at this and go, oh my God, why would I want to come with daily tasks? The daily task is to make sure that it's broken up into small chunks that you can achieve. And we did this in our financial services practice last year. I got all of my accountants to go through their year. We created, it was just in an Excel spreadsheet, and then we had Monday to Friday, and we had the 52 weeks in there. So what I got them to do is to break down when they were going to work on certain clients to get their year-end done, their BASs, or whatever it was that we needed to do. We found so much efficiency in our business by doing that, because instead of coming in and just starting our day and then going, rightio, I'm going to do this, you get caught up in the non-urgent, non-important things like your inbox in your mail system. We get a lot of emails in here, and that's great. It's our form of communication with our clients. But you can get caught up, and by the time you've checked your emails, and some of those aren't important, but it then is morning tea time, and we have our coffee, and then we're starting work. So what I got my staff to do is we went through and we programmed out every single day of the year. So they would put on Monday, we're going to do X client. That's a 3-day job. So that'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, we might do just catching up on the little tasks that come up on a day-to-day basis. And Friday is doing something that might be quite small just to finish the week off. This year is the first year ever that we have not been pushing to meet our lodgement deadlines we have with the tax office. It's the first year ever that we've got our business planning done in May. It's the first year ever that we've done all our client engagement letters the first week in June and the last week in May. We are ready to now do all of our annual meetings with our client. We are going to start the 1st of July on a clean slate. First time ever we've done that. We have found efficiencies in our business, so we stopped wasting time. And it came down to the fact that our day, every day of the year that we were at work, was planned out. Did we do it on those days every time? Absolutely not, because emergencies would happen. A client would come in that had some deadline, or they were going for finance and we needed to get their financials done earlier. We might have had a new client come in that had years of tax returns that needed to be done, so we need to prioritise that. But having that mapped out in the annual plan meant that we could shuffle, because it was there to be shuffled. When we used to just come in and go, right, what are we going to work on today? We tended to not push. And if you've got that built into your diary of where you're going to do the work, you're more drilled to get it done. So if you had a client booked into your calendar that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you were going to do their financials, their year end, and have it to query stage, that actually sort of pushed you to do that, because you knew it was factored in. You knew that on a Monday morning when we have our group meeting, I would go back over what their last week was programmed, and I'd say to them, did you get this done? And if they said no, the question would be, why did it not get done? What took its place? Where is it? And we went through the accountability. So that's how we programmed in and got our goals and our daily goals to get us to where our target was. Because last July, I set a target that we were not going to have that 15th of May deadline rush. We were not going to be chasing our tails to try and get everything done to be ready and prepared for the new financial year. I wanted to be able to try to have an annual meeting with every client that we're engaged with, and we've been able to do that. And that's purely because I set a goal and I broke it down into chunk size parts. Now, that's what happens in a financial services business. Your business may be very different and you can't do that, but the process is still the same. It gave us the daily challenges which kept us clear in our vision and our motivation of what we needed to do. We're in the process now of setting our goals for the next 12 months, which I will share with all of our team, because they've all been involved in that process, because then there's the accountability. I've set goals for myself with regard to my podcasting and my digital platform, jenrichardson.co. I've always had this real passion. My goal was to get financial literacy out into everyday lives, because as our education system doesn't deal with the real life stuff. We do lots of things on Shakespeare and, art and all of these sorts of things, but we don't know how to pay down our debt quickly. We don't know how to do real life things with money. And so my goal was always to help 10,000 small businesses. And that is really important to me, because small businesses are the lifeblood of our country. It keeps our taxes going. It keeps our people employed. It contributes to our social security system, because after all, 97% of businesses in Australia are small businesses. So there's a lot of people that need help. And so I want to have the aim that I personally will help 10,000 small businesses. And I realized when I set that goal for myself a couple of years ago, you physically can't help 10,000 people walking in to these premises that I have here. And so I needed to look for another way to do that. So my goal or my end business was to help 10,000 small business owners through education, through helping them grow their business or make their business less stressful. It is also a goal to help 10,000 individuals. So I have two goals in my business here, and the digital platform I've created to do that, which is jenrichardson.co, is to help 10,000 small businesses be better at running their business and 10,000 individuals be better at their own financial future. Because our financial future, whether that's as an individual or as a business, is tied to the lifestyle we want and the lifestyle that we can afford. So it is important, and it's important that so many people hear the noise that's out in the market. And as an accountant, financial advisor and mortgage broker, I am amazed at some of the incorrect information that's out there. And so I want people to learn from somebody that has the knowledge. So the goals that I set, I now need to break it down and make them achievable. And every day I give myself a task that I need to do, which will walk me closer to that step. So remember, the thing that we always say about goals, they are not wishes. They're not just throwing out, oh, I want to do this. That is not the case. We need to be very defined, very specific. Otherwise, they are nothing other than a wish. And of course, we hear people setting what they say are goals on New Year's Eve. 90% of those goals are forgotten about before the end of February. So goals are not a wish or a hope or a maybe. They are the roadmap or the GPS for your business. So please do not underestimate these. Everything that I've been going over in the last couple of weeks with my podcast is about how to make your business actually achieve what you want. We did the marketing plan a couple of weeks ago. We've done the business plan. Now we're doing the goals, and we'll keep moving forward with all those things that will help you as a business owner. So I want you to come up with a step-by-step path of how you can create the goals. So goals will help you with your decision making, because when you reach a point in your business where you're not quite sure whether to turn left or turn right, the goal will be your guiding light. The idea behind goals is it will look at what could go wrong and how you're going to counteract them. Remember, when we talk about goals, it's not just about putting it out there, that's what I want to achieve. It's looking at what things could get in your way that you need to counteract. It also gives you that ability when you goal set for your business that you look at what some of the issues may be so that you can put things in place before it happens. So the goals will actually give you the roadmap and the strategies when things go wrong. So the power of goal setting, as I said, is it does give you clarity and focus. So it allows you to work out where you want your business to go instead of just drifting along. And I used a saying a couple of weeks ago that, you will arrive somewhere with your business in 10 years' time. It's just whether you arrive at the destination you wanted or somewhere else. So the goals and your business plan and your marketing plan, they all tie into one to make sure that you end up where you want with your business. Your goals, as I said, will give you the motivation and the drive, because once you have a plan with how to get somewhere, it makes it so much easier to know what you need to do. And of course, as small business owners, we can get tied up in the day-to-day things of our business and forget about the things that we need to do to move out of that place that we are. Goals will also give you a measurement progress report. So if you've set that you want something done within 90 days and you get to 6 weeks out and you can see you're halfway through, but you haven't achieved halfway through where you need to go, it gives you that opportunity then to tweak how you're doing things to make sure that you achieve it. I'm not necessarily one person that says, if you're not going to make your 90 days goals, just stretch them out. That doesn't get you anywhere, because instead of being at your destination in 10 years' time, you might end up that it's 15 years' time before you get to the destination you want with your business. And that's not the point of goals. So if you set yourself a target, they need to be realistic. But if you set your 90-day target for where you want to be in your journey, and you can see 6 weeks out that you're not going to get there, tweak what you're doing to make sure you get there. Don't stretch the target out. Because when we start stretching out the target of where we want to be, we then just don't become accountable to our goals, and they drift off, and they're like a New Year's resolution. So remember, your SMART goal framework for an individual is the same SMART goals that we have for businesses. So the process of goal setting, whether you're business or personal, is exactly the same. So they need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be attainable, they need to be time-bound and relevant. So of course, if you can't measure and they're unrealistic, they're nothing more than a wish. So please, when you set your goals for your business, it's exactly the same as when you set goals personally. Tick off that they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So if you can't get all 5 of those in there, you need to rethink what your goal is. And of course, when we set goals in our business as well as in our personal and private life, it's no different. The idea behind a goal is to not only have you achieve things, but it's also a great stress reduction technique. Because when you have a big goal that you need to achieve or you want to achieve, it can be quite stressful of how you get there, and you're trying to do that, and you're trying to run your business, and you're trying to do everything else that happens in your life. The idea behind goal setting is by breaking it down into small little chunks that are achievable and time-bound, you can go, it might be stressful, but all I've got to do is this one task. And I think I shared with you a couple of weeks ago a saying that I have when I feel a little bit stressed about everything that I've got to get done. And so at the moment, I'm still have this financial services practice, which I love, so I can't see I'll ever get rid of it in any time soon. But I have this business to run. I have clients that I need to make feel loved. I need to be available for them to help them with their business. But I'm also trying to grow my digital platform so that I can help those 10,000 people and 10,000 businesses. And some days I get to 5 o'clock and I'm finishing here and I go, I don't know that I've actually done anything today. Some days my office door is a revolving door between staff coming in to get help with how to finish something for a client, or people coming in wanting to know what I need from them and things like that. So some days they just feel really unproductive and I feel overwhelmed and stressed that I haven't ticked off any of the boxes for the day. So when I feel stressed like that, I go back to my little saying, which is one day, one goal, one task. And so each week I set myself a goal of what I'm going to achieve. As I said, I break them down into daily goals so that my task for each day will be working towards that goal. And so when I break that down to the one day, one goal, one task, I'm thinking, I'm not looking at the 44 tasks that I need to get done or the 3 goals of what I need to achieve in the 90 days. I am just looking at that one task. And if it gets to 5 o'clock and everybody, all my staff is leaving, the phones are turned off, if I can just say to myself, I didn't get that one task done, but I can do that now. It keeps me focused that all I've got to do is that one task. Or if I've got to get home because, things need to get done at home, I can get home, walk the dogs, get tea organised. Once the washing up's done, I can just sit on the lounge and do that one task. Some days I have to swap my tasks around, no doubt about it. So if I've set that I want to write a blog, for example, and it gets to 5 o'clock and I know I've got to get home because, dinner needs to get cooked, the dogs need to get walked. If I've got to get home, I know that I probably don't have enough time that night to write a blog. But my next day task might have just been to do some planning of what my future blogs or podcasts are going to be. I can sit on the lounge and do that. Or it means that sometimes the morning, if I know I've got a busy day with appointments with clients and things, I can just walk in and go, right, before I open up my emails, I'm going to write my blog. And because I'm much more productive of a morning than I am of an afternoon, I can keep that clear focus and I can knock that one task out of the way. I have that sense of satisfaction and I can move on. And sometimes if I know that the week is going to be really busy, sometimes for me it's just caving out that first half hour of a morning to say, I've walked in, I shut my office door, or I tell my staff, just give me half an hour. Once I've done that, I'm all yours for the day. That's a way that I get through a lot of my tasks. And so that's what goal setting can do. It can remove that stress, because if we don't set that one task for the day, we can quite often get distracted by the day-to-day things of our lives. We get to the end of the week and we haven't actually achieved anything towards that goal. Then it's overwhelming because we've got 5 things we've got to try to do. So it is important that you carve out a part of the day for that one task, working towards one goal. Goal setting also allows you to be proactive instead of reactive. And so in businesses, if we don't set goals and tasks that we need to do, which is the proactive side of running a business, if we don't do that, we're always reacting to the urgent deadline. And so I talked about the other week that we can break everything down into 4 quadrants. What we want to be doing is the one that we have plenty of time and it's not urgent. That gives you the time to think about it. When we go to quadrant 4, which is urgent and time bound, that's when we become stressful, we react. Clients or your customers might be complaining because you haven't delivered on time, because you're too busy caught up with things. That's when we become reactive, and that is the stress factor that contributes to having a small business. So it's important that you change that mindset, that you're not putting out fires, that you're planning for success, and that will remove some of the stress in our lives. Goal setting, as I said, also gives you that sense of accomplishment. You can, as humans, we love being able to achieve things. We don't like going backwards. We don't like being stuck where we are. And so if you've set your goals and you write them down and you become accountable to them, when you achieve that goal, you'll actually feel a sense of accomplishment, which will motivate you then to keep going and growing or achieving your goals that you have in your business. The problems that we see when we have businesses set goals and their business plans is that they have an unreal expectation, either on time or what they want to achieve. Sometimes it's people will have, it's an achievable goal that they want to get, but they put an unrealistic time expectation. And so then they don't meet it and they throw their hands in the air and just say to themselves, it doesn't work. You must be really diligent when you set your goals that they are realistic. And that's part of that SMART framework that I talked about earlier. So by setting achievable goals, you'll avoid the frustration that comes with it and the discouragement that will come. The other thing that we see is lack of flexibility. And I talked about that when I said the programming that we did here in my financial services practice. When we mapped out the year, we mapped it out with what we knew at the time. But of course, we had a client that came in and it was a new client. They had, I think, about 4 years of tax returns that needed to be done. They had 4 years of business activity statements that hadn't been done. And of course, they came to us because the tax office was chasing them. We couldn't say to that client, sorry, you don't fit into our 12-month plan. We've got nowhere for you. What we did was we shuffled. So we allowed that flexibility in our calendar. We programmed that into somebody's calendar who took the reins on it, but the other accountants then programmed in some into their week as well to help out, which meant that all the accountants were working on this one job, so we got it done quickly, met the tax office's deadline and could help our client moving forward. But it also meant that there was a little bit of shuffling in each of our calendars to make sure we achieved it, but then also to make sure that another client wasn't penalised because we're helping this new client. And so for us, what we did was we shuffled it across all the accountants. One did 1 year, one did this next one, and we all shared it. That way, none of our clients were impacted. If I'd given that whole job to one of my accountants to do, they probably would have had clients then ringing and complaining that we hadn't met the deadline that we said. So we also tell our clients that we will be working on your work next month. We need you to have everything to us. So we set that expectation with our clients to make sure we have our information, but also the expectation that we will deliver. So if I hadn't allowed for flexibility in our working calendars, we would have either not been able to help that client that desperately needed help, or we would have annoyed a client. So by splitting that and allowing flexibility in our calendars across everybody's calendar, it didn't impact our current clients, but it also helped out our new clients. The other thing that we see with people when they set this up in business is not tracking their progress. So they'll set a goal and then they say, 90 days time, I'm going to have whatever it is to be done. But if they're not tracking it as they go, they get to a week out and all of a sudden they can't do it. And so I always say it's a bit like dieting. If you say you want to lose 20 kilos before Christmas, you don't want to get out to December, the start of December, and for the very first time jump on the scales and go, oh, I've only lost 3 kilos. You can't get 17 kilos in 21 days or whatever it is. So think about that as an analogy with everything. And I don't love that we always bring everything back to the diet and fitness industry, but diet and fitness industry is a great industry to show how benchmarking works and goal setting. You know, when you go to the gym and join a gym for the first time, you always have a reason that you've gone there. So it might be that you want to get fitter, you want to lose weight, you're getting older and you want to make sure that you keep your muscle tone so that you don't have falls. And, you know, as we know, falls are quite significant for older people. So when you go to a gym, it may not be that you want to be that perfectly toned body, but you have a goal for yourself that you want to achieve. And so when I talk to business owners and I bring in the fitness industry or the diet industry, it's because you can do the before and afters very easily in those two industries. It also is in two industries that are very big on goal setting or achieving your own targets, not somebody else's. It's no point me looking at a diet and, you know, I'm in my mid-50s, so I'm not going to say I'm going on a diet and I'm going to look like I was when I was 18. That would nearly be impossible for me, and it's targeting something that's not realistic. I'm also not going to join a gym and want to be as fit and toned as the 20-year-old that's at the machine next to me, because we have different body compositions now. And so when I see small business owners and they're trying to compare themselves the same as that scenario, it doesn't work. And when I move that scenario across and say to them, you know, can you be the same body shape that you were when you were in your 20s? Can you be as fit as you were in your 20s? Can you still do the physical activity that you could in your 20s? And the answer, of course, is always no. And that's because things have matured, things have changed. So you need to look at your business in the same light that you would look at those sorts of things. So don't be like the person I just said that says, I want to lose 20 kilos by Christmas, but I'm not going to even look to see how close I am until the 1st of December. You have then not tracked your progress, so you can't see where you're reaching your goal, and then you become an unrealistic goal. So if you get on the scales on the 1st of December and you have only lost the 3 kilos, it's almost impossible to lose 17 kilos between the 1st of December and the 25th of December. So tracking your progress is equally as important in your business as it would be if you were on a diet. The other thing that we see is people setting wrong goals for the wrong stage of their business cycle. And of course, you've probably heard me talking about the different stages of business cycles. If you haven't got that graphic, I've got that on our website at jenrichardson.co. Download that and have a look at it, because if you're in startup phase, you can't compare where you are to somebody who's in the unicorn stage. And it is important that you do your goals and your planning for the stage that you're in or the stage that you're next going to reach. And so you have to go through those startup phases right through to the unicorn. So in the startup phase, your focus is on survival, creating customer acquisition and a product market fit. So set your goals around those things. If you're in growth stage, you're shifting your focus to scaling your operations, expanding your market share, and building a strong brand out there in the marketplace. So again, your goal should be focused on those things. If you have moved to an established business, and that means then that you should be looking to maximize your profit, looking how you can innovate the product or market that you have, and adapting to the changing market conditions. So set your goals around those sorts of things. And of course, the tips that we always say for everybody, because I like to give tips if I can, is start with your marketing plan, then move to your business plan, then set your goals. So if you don't have your business plan, remember I talked about that in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, download our business plan, which you can find that link where you're watching this podcast or listening to the podcast, or of course head over to my website jenrichardson.co and you'll find that on there. Reach out if you have any trouble. I've got the actual structure of the business plan there for you, and I've got the instructions on how to complete it. It is super important. Do that, then do your goal settings. Remember, goals are your business's sat nav. So don't put in the wrong address of where you want to drive to. Put where you want to be so that you can map the correct path. One of the other things that we see with a lot of people is they don't write down their business plans or their goals. The reason that you need to write them down is you want to be able to put them somewhere where you see them every single day. And the reason that you do that is it keeps you focused. It keeps you honest to those goals. But the other thing, if they're not written down, we will water them down. So if your goal is to be at X point in 90 days and you don't write that down, you'll accept wherever you land in 90 days. You do not have that same ability to have that focus of where you want to be. Break them down, as I said, to weekly and daily tasks. So what I do when I do mine is I go, this is where I want to be in 90 days. And then I map out all the steps that I need to get there. There's no point just having a goal and that's it. So I might need to write a podcast each week. I might need to write a blog. I might need to come up with material that I want to put out into the market. I need to track my socials to see if they're actually hitting the target market. It's no point if I want to help 10,000 small businesses and my messaging on my social media platforms is going to individuals. It's a completely different message. I want to help 10,000 individuals as well, but it's a different message to them, to small businesses. Because there's no point me talking about a business plan if my social media is targeting individuals. So I'll look at that and go, they only look after businesses. I'm an individual. So be very careful that you are tracking everything as you go. So breaking down your steps, coming up with the steps that you need in as minute detail as possible, because that reduces the overwhelm. The other thing that I find helps people with their success is sharing your goals. The reason that we share our goals is, one, it makes you accountable to someone else other than yourself. You know, I always say every business should have a business coach in some form. You want that business coach to be somebody who is a person that is strong enough to hold you accountable. A business coach doesn't have to be somebody you pay. It can be part of being in a Facebook group. Perhaps you can put your goals up, but you need somebody to force you to stick to them. If you are not a strong person, I personally, I've got business coaches, don't get me wrong, but I am such a person that I have to achieve. It's driven into me. I don't know why, but I don't have to have necessarily somebody pushing me to go, have you done that, Jen? Because I write my goals and I look at them all the time. Share it with somebody to give you a person to bounce ideas off. Share it with somebody to be your cheer squad from the sideline. And if you don't have a person that you want to do that with, come join one of my coaching groups that I have, or join a Facebook group that I run, so that you can get that accountability that you need. If you need any help with anything that we've talked about today, please reach out to me, because this is what I do and I want to be able to help you. My last thing that I want to say to you today is regularly review your goals and your progress and adjust as accordingly. Do not adjust the end goal though, adjust the process of getting there, and that will help you reach the vision that you have for your life and your business. So that's it for me. I've got a great new course starting soon. It's a 4-week business intensive called Freedom Formula. We'll go through a lot of this. If you want to know anything about Freedom Formula, jump into our homepage and click the button in there. You can then go and read everything, or reach out to us if you need to know any more information. It starts the 1st of July, so you've got to be quick. And you'll learn all the things that I've teaching through my coaching here with my business clients of how to grow your business to be what you want from your business. So that's Freedom Formula, which you'll find over on our website. I've also got the business plan, as I said, if you want to have a go at doing your own business plan as the start of the process. And I've also got the marketing plan on our website that you can download to help you be better at your business. Of course, if you know any other small businesses that need help or want any of this information that I've shared, why not send them over to my website, tell them about my podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you get our podcasts when they drop. Of course, leave any comments below where you're watching or listening to this podcast of anything that you want me to cover, because I am here to help you be better at your business. If we're not friends on socials, come join us at jenrichardson.co, and that's on all the major socials. You'll find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope that my goal setting has encouraged you to be better at your business and making your business less stressful for you. So that's it. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday. Remember, the advice shared in Dollars and Dreams is general in nature, and it does not consider your own personal circumstances. Dollars and Dreams is for educational purposes only and should not be relied upon to make investment or financial decisions. If you need more help, please reach out to a financial advisor for tailored personal advice. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. And please leave me a review. Your feedback really helps me to reach other people chasing their money dreams. You can find me over on Facebook and Instagram to connect with me. You will find the link in the bio, or head over to my website at jenrichardson.co, where you will find free content and learning tools.